It is weird, Justin, because they've had times where that power play seems to be clicking at like a 95% efficiency, and then it's clicking at 9.5% efficiency for the next month. So there's been that lack of consistency. So and too much pressure is put on the assistant coaches. But in the case of Mark Savard or whomever, they know the players. He certainly knew what to do on a power play, and he's had a year to get his feet wet, and now some different players there, and I'm confident it's something that should be a power asset for them.
Did the shorthanded goal Montreal scored in the opener cause probably Berube to not be in a good enough or a great mood, moving forward here? I mean, it was an ugly shorthanded goal to give up.
Yeah. So Kippy, again, at the end, the key was, to their point, they get like shorthanded goal is a big momentum killer. And I remember when I used to, I know they have the stats for it, but when I was doing, stats before, I would keep it. And when you scored a shorthanded goal, you were something like 11-0-3 or something, or 7-0-2. Like, it really is a momentum changer. But the key was they found a way to win the game. They found a way to win the game at the end of it. They were behind. They gave up that momentum, shorthanded goal. It wasn't like the prettiest of wins. The two empty net goals kind of inflated the score, but they found a way to win. But those kind of things are the kind of things that have to happen on a less of a scale. That kind of momentum changer in the regular season, because you had a few of them against Florida in the playoffs that all of a sudden swung the series. It was a couple of little moments that all of a sudden flipped the series in the Florida Panthers' favor.
Okay, just your assessment so far. We had Mike Rupp on in the first hour talking about the Leafs and what the things that he likes moving forward for them. And they kind of went around the different faces here. So give us an early kind of thought on Michelli, Dakota, Nick Waugh, and what you've seen so far.
Okay, I don't count the exhibition games. And so, none of them I'm going to look at as the steal of the year. But I've liked the makeup, what I've seen on the ice. What I like the best is, like last year, the New York Rangers had a lot of white noise. Okay, and then they never got going. The Boston Bruins started the season with Jeremy Swayman, Jim Montgomery in doubt, Brad Marchand's contract. They fell out of the playoffs. Every year the Maple Leafs had Mitch Marner's contract, Austin Matthews' contract, William Nylander's contract. Oh my God, it's Doobie's last year. He doesn't, oh my goodness, you're going to lose the general manager. Like every year we had this crisis. For 82 games, we had too much white noise, and we've got no white noise. And that's the part I like the best.
Awesome stuff, Gordo. Just to close out our segment, I just want you to know that raccoons can bite when they feel threatened, cornered, or during a feeding interaction. Were you chomping down on a Dante's Fiesta when this happened?
No, that Dante. Boy, how much? I don't even know if Dante's Fiesta is still going. We've given them so much commercial time. I was at the cricket. It came up on the patio on the cricket club, and actually, it was a baby raccoon. That's why it was scared. It didn't have its mom. But the kind of attitude, obviously, by scaring him, is what the Toronto Maple Leaf players can take as incentive. That they should play this season the way I faced down that raccoon on that warm summer evening and endured 5 doses of rabies vaccine.
That's a great life lesson for them.
Really good one to end us on a Friday. Gordo, thanks for doing this, pal.
Hey, guys, take care. Looking forward to it. Go Jays as well. I'm loving the baseball fever.
Oh, yeah. Yes, thanks, Gordo. Baby. Appreciate it.
He is Gord Stellick. Only one of a kind.
I live near.
Although Brother Bob's pretty close.
Okay. I live very near a Zante, a Greek restaurant.
Yeah.
So there's two things out of that interview that I love. I mean, first of all, raccoon bite is one of the wildest things.
Well, we're never letting that go.
That is brought up for the rest of his time on the show that we are talking about that 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys deal with raccoons, obviously?
I got videos of me. They're holding my hockey stick while trying to push them off my garbage can. They're all over my yard.
I had an interaction where I went to open up my garbage can to throw in a thing, and it was in there, and then I had to tip it over and have it run out there. It could have easily got. They're massive. They are the biggest, but they're huge here.
And some of them are vicious.
Yeah. You don't want to see them in the daytime. That's for sure. They're not doing great.
Cord got bit by a baby.
I mean, if the one in my backyard bit me, I would perish because it would eat me alive. It's so big. The second thing he said, I love that last thing he said about how it doesn't feel like an all or nothing here because of There's not a big time free agent on the way out. Dubas isn't on his last stand or whatever. Like, it does have a bit of a feel of that. Like, does that?
So you're okay
does that matter?
if this is year one of something towards getting the team in year 2 or 3 ready for another run?
That's a fair pushback, and I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like we're like going into this year. It's the last season of X, right?
Yeah, I get,
See, I do feel like in many ways it could be the last.
Of what?
Well, I don't know what a disappointing season does for Brad Treliving or Craig Berube or just the makeup of the team. If in fact, does you feel comfortable that if it is somewhat of a disappointing season, Brad Treliving gets to keep going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Well, no, I mean, like, how? I mean,
Lose in the first round.
well, I mean, that's old hat around here. He's fine if that happens.
Do you really believe that?
I do. Yeah, don't you?
You do.
Like, they're
Sure,
gonna,
he's only had a couple of seasons here.
you're gonna get rid of him and bring in another new guy to start it all over again. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's a possibility.
Well, they gave Dubas 7 first-round exits
That
before they got rid of him.
that was
so.
not Keith Pelly who said
that's
we're
fair.
just not here to sell jerseys.
Yeah, until they kind of were. Until they were like, oh, but how about the new captain jersey? Austin Matthews, available at Real Sports.
I
And unity.
can I just listen? We're just speaking over the course of this season here and how you feel about, like, are they already in year 1 of a reset? And you might be right.
I think they are.
You could be right that this could feel like the first year of a reset, and maybe Brad gets the next 2 years.
I have to imagine what that means. Reset typically means you sell assets, acquire younger, or picks, or
But this is all this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, they're now going by this is the biggest team in the NHL.
Yeah, they.
But are they one of the oldest teams in the NHL?
no, but they're not far off. They're, there's 10 teams older than them, but they're
Maybe
22nd.
maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
That's old.
Yeah, they're old.
older.
They're definitely old.
They're old.
Totally. Well, that's what happens when you trade every pick for
So how
5
does
years.
one of the older teams in the National Hockey League now get 2 or 3 years moving
Not
forward?
happening. Like Tanev has a 6-year deal. He's in year 2 of.
Yeah.
Riley has a 7-year deal. He's in year 3 of. Or 2. Tavares just signed a 4-year deal. Your old guys are here. McCabe signed a 5 or 6-year deal. You're going to be older. In some spots, and I don't think it helps to get randomly younger in others.
Yeah.
It's okay
Yeah.
to be older. Just not old.
Right?
Well, just not old. You just can't be like, oh, I got to watch.
Yeah.
You can't be watching.
Yeah, that's fair. But I think it's a little bit refreshing to not have the start of every season be like, this is the last stand. Where we talked about
I
Marner,
hope it's more fun.
Well, just
Nylander.
the mere fact
just feels a
that-
little less toxic, is what I'm getting at.
It does feel that way because for years everybody's saying blow up one of Marner, Matthews, Nylander, or Tavares, and
Correct.
now one of them's gone,
Yeah.
and that alone makes it feel like it's
Different.
and maybe just no matter how you feel about Mitch, it's a different coat of paint,
Yeah. Yep.
and that in itself makes it feel rather different.
It's almost like you had to throw the Hordes some red meat here. Like everyone was clawing for so long. Top, the core 4 doesn't work. Like you just
Anything.
It's
here.
the key
Right?
3.
We're
Yeah.
at the point where we don't care
Yeah.
what name gets
Yeah,
plucked.
we just
make it
You
one.
can't keep doing this. And someone went, never mind. Okay.
So as Mitch and the president went, and everybody's like, okay, we can give this a chance.
Well, we'll give it,
A year.
We got what we wanted, so let's pretend to enjoy it, whether it's working or not.
We'll give it
for a while.
October at least.
Yes. We were one game in here and they won. So
Yeah.
plenty of reason for people to feel good right
And the
now.
good news is they got Detroit the next 2 games.
Who I opened the show by saying,
Yeah, so you've got them 3-0 to start the season.
do.
Yeah.
Me too.
But I mean, you lose, that happens. But